uh, got a strike. So
oh, they took down the camp, or what was it?
no, they took down 2 videos actually. One was about the woman. You know, the daughters of Israel are cruel, and they took another one down where I was speaking about that girl that was beating on a Uber driver, the J chick that was beating on the Uber driver. They said it was cyberbullying and some crap like that. I was like, what? I appealed it, and they denied my appeal. And then the one that they removed, I tried to get that appealed, and they denied it too. So,
wow.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we doing the right thing, man. Hey, all right, we want to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
He was double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to our fellow Akim across the 4 corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem. Hold on for a second. Preacher in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It is the brother Gabar YAHAWADAH.
This is the brother Kahan Allah.
Good.
And this is the brother Ariel YAHAWADAH.
Khan, we the brothers from GMS Hawaii. We just got together. We were talking for a little bit prior to this starting this live show, and it's entitled "All the Other Nations Flow in Wealth." And I did that purposely to try to and hey, you can get that scripture too, bro. I know it's in 2nd Esdras, but it's going to focus on Moab, you know, because Moab getting all this help, and people are coming to Moab's defense. Soon as Moab start to receive some type of recompense or some type of kickback, which you saw that today or yesterday y'all time, but today our time, earlier today our time, a bill passed to fight Asian American hate crimes, you know, and basically you know, if you abreast to the news, you see that Moab been getting beat and jumped, or so-called Asian people been getting beat and jumped, because when you say Asian, it covers a multitude of people. Okay, there's a place called Asia, but there are many countries within Asia. It's just like Africa, and not all Asians identify as the same people. They can't call them yellow people. They say either they Japanese, Chinese, okay, Eurasian. You know, you got Vietnamese, Taiwanese, Korean. You know, you got all these different types of people. Then you also got the so-called Pacific Islanders who look at themselves as Asian too, as well. All right, so they passed a bill today for APIs, or Asian Pacific Islanders, because of the hate, because of the attacks, the physical attacks they started facing. And really what you're starting to see is that the Lord is bringing a separation to these people. Can you get a Ariel? Can you get Matthew chapter 24? I think it's like verse 6.
This is the book of St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. And it reads, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Keep reading.
Verse 7, for nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yeah, so nation, the key point in there is nation gonna rise against nation. You got you're gonna have World War III happening. You know, hey, can you look up in the blue letter for nation? Go ahead, brother. Because you're gonna have different nations rolling against each other in war, but also you're gonna have America is called the melting pot, and you're gonna have nations in America, people of different ethnicities, so-called ethnicities, fighting against each other. Hey, that's what the so-called white man is getting ready for. He's getting ready for what he calls the race war, man. The great race war, man. Which really they got the children of Israel in their sights, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they got you in their crosshairs. And these other nations that are living in America, they're going to separate. There's another scripture where it speaks about how nation going to go into going to leave this place and go into their own land. Oh, you got that, brother?
Yeah, I was looking for that one actually.
Yeah, kind.
Oh.
I think it's in I think it's in Revelation 18, might be.
Let me see.
Well, go ahead and break that definition out, brother. For nation.
Okay, this is the definition for Matthew 24:7 for nation. It says a company, troop, swarm, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, a tribe, nation, people, group.
Yeah, so I take it that the Greek word there is ethnos.
Khan. The Greek word is ethnos.
Yeah, ethnos. Okay, and that's the same nation. That's the same word they use for Gentiles too in the New Testament. But it's different people. It's people that dwell together in their own place, man. So again, you got America is known as the melting pot. So you got people from all different nationalities, and the Lord didn't set up the earth to be like that. We're not supposed to be living amongst each other. These nations got their cultures, and we have our culture.
That's right.
Okay. And so if we're living amongst these different people, we're mixing and mingling amongst these people, all kinds of confusion is going to happen, man. So that's why another reason why America is called Babylon the Great, the place of great confusion. And so you got these Asians here that when they came here, they didn't come here as slaves. They didn't come here as captives. They didn't come here for forced labor. Yeah, they did some cheap labor in the beginning. But when they really came here in mass, what did they came as what they don't like to be called? They came in as immigrants, man. Okay. And it wasn't forced. It wasn't a forced migration. Shit was going on in their countries, but they really came over here to make money, to get rich, to do business. And where is the majority of these so-called Asian businesses located at? In places where Israelites dwell at, man. Whether that's a convenience store, a Chinese food restaurant, whether that's a clothing store, whether that's a hair care store, because you Moabites, you cornered the market in a black woman hair care business, man. You and the East Indians, but mainly the so-called Chinese, man. So here it is, you've been exploiting our people. Like the scripture says, the dog licked the wounds, when it speaks about Lazarus and a rich man, or the rich man and Lazarus, which the rich man is Esau, Edom, and Lazarus is the Israelites. And then those dogs are the other nations, man. They've been licking our wounds, meaning they've been exploiting us. And our people never fought back to these nations. They got a constant, language barrier between the so-called Chinese and Korean and the so-called Negroes and Latinos that they serve in these communities. And they don't put nobody's marching and telling them Asians to put the money that they've been making hand over fist for decades in our communities back into our communities. They just raping us. So now now these other nations, they hopped on it too. You got Elam in the hood. You got Ishmael in the hood, buying up all these chicken spots. He's buying up all these food spots, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, which all that shit is a food desert for our people. But who the ones that are making money off it? You nations, man. And now you nations starting to feel some type of pain. And now the first thing, it ain't even been a year. How long got people been over here? How long got people been in America, man? How long did it take for you to pass some type of act to protect, so-called protect Negroes in America, man? And when crimes happen to our people, it's very, very few are being called hate crimes, man. Very few of those crimes that happen to our people in this country are deemed as hate crimes. But now these Moabites and the rest of you heathens that call yourself, Asian or whatever, now you got a crime bill that protects you, man. So if somebody touch you, the first thing they gonna say is, "Oh, hate crime, throw them under the jail." And like, I don't know if I played the video yet, but I'm gonna play it again. At the end of it, Chuck Schumer, the Amalekite, he said that they're gonna prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law, man. And they mean that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, brothers.
Yeah, it can, and that shows you the hypocrisy of, especially of Esau, man. Because here you go talking about, protecting, the so-called Asian citizen and shit, but you never like the brother said, made laws to protect the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. Neither do you even want to have talks amongst your congressmen about reparations, man, for all
Yeah.
the wickedness that you did for hundreds of years to our people, man. You see, but now here comes a couple people got knocked upside the head, and now you're gonna make it a crime, for whoever does the assaulting onto a so-called Asian, man. That shows you how hypocritical Esau is as a nation, man. You
Yeah.
know. I had that scripture for
Check it out, brother.
this is Isaiah 13:14. It's and it reads, "And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one to his own land." That's right, man, and that's what we see. We're seeing Edomites, gathering amongst themselves to protect their people, the Asians, the so-called Arabs, all of them, man. Amalek, I don't know if you brothers been to New York, but Amalek in New York, these niggas got like their own
Yeah,
kind
they
of
have
like
the
a
recourse.
security amongst their neighborhoods, man.
Yeah, and
And these motherfuckers put like lights that's illegal to put like cop lights over the cars and shit, and they roll around with that shit to basically
What?
scare people off
yeah,
around their
What?
neighborhoods. Like the Orthodox Jews, them niggas are like that, bro.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. They don't. The cops don't even bother them. The cops don't even, when they see them doing it, just like a pseudo police force, and they able to go. Why? Because they Amalek is ruling the world, man. If they tell them to stop it, they're gonna, throw up a fit, man. They're gonna stop some money from rolling there. Somebody knows somebody, connections gonna fall apart. And that's the whole thing with this whole Asian thing. Because see, the reason why Esau's a bully, man. He bullies us, right? But he won't bully these other nations the way he bully us. Because he knows that we don't have an army, we don't have a navy, we don't have an air force. Okay, we don't have sovereignty. We're underneath his foot, so he felt he could do whatever he wants to us, and all the other nations feel the same way. They feel they can do whatever they want to us because who's standing up for us? Who's looking out for us? But when something happened to them, it's a threat, man. It's a threat because if many of these so-called agents start getting wrecked, hey, China gonna pull money out. Japan gonna pull money out. These other nations gonna pull money out, funds out, because that could happen. Or they could just wage war and say, look, man, our people are catching hell over this nation, over here in your nation. Y'all not doing nothing, and we want some type of penalties, and we're gonna bring it out. Either that's gonna be through embargoes, which is not the mark of the beast, but embargoes. That's gonna be some type of financial situation, because these nations get hit you where it hurt, even though they've been borrowing your money, man. But when it comes to the so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans, don't nobody care. I got a precept, bro.
Okay.
This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 5. It says, for who shall, matter of fact, I'll start at I'll just go to the point. Verse 5. For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside and ask how thou doest? Right, because all these nations that we forsook the Lord for, they don't give a damn about us, man. None of their idols are standing up for us. None of their witchcraft is benefiting us. You see? So who's going to stand up for you when judgment comes? Who's bemoaning the children of Israel, man? You see, like yesterday, one of them a so-called Negro chick got shot in the chest because she tried to stab another girl and put to death. Right, well, it was a couple of days ago, right? An hour after the Chauvin thing went through, you niggas were celebrating, popping bottles, right? But then immediately, 60 minutes later, the same thing happened all over again. Okay, I think one brother or somebody, one of the brothers in Atlanta, brought it out that out of the 17,000 shootings that happened between white cops or police law enforcement against the so-called Negroes here in America, African Americans, only 7 cases went to trial, man. Out of 17,000. Can you imagine what had happened? Wait, they already locking niggas up right now for beating Edomite, beating Moabites up, man. One Jake in California, he just ran the spirit of the Lord of judgment, just jumped on him, and he sidekicked one of them gooks into a damn garage door, man, and he died. You see? Yeah, the Jake went to jail. Jake went, he's in prison right now. He ain't coming home. His mom was like, he's a good boy and all this other stuff. Nobody want to hear it. Meanwhile, Moab in 1992, damn Moabite demon shot and killed hold on, Chinese.
Yeah, and even Esau, man, like, you know, these cops, you know, you mentioned that girl that got shot for trying to stab the other girl. Man, Esau could have shot her on the leg somewhere, not lethal, man. You know, but these motherfuckers, when they see Jake, it's like a automatic, you know, chest or head shot, man. You
Yeah,
know, but here you have Edomites or even of these other nations, these Arabs or, you know, these
yeah,
other nations go on a fucking killing spree, and these niggas come out alive with maybe like a fucking leg wound, and they
yeah,
just fucking kill like 30 plus people, you know.
yeah,
And that shows you that, hey, when they're training these cops, when they put them in a scenario of a Negro or a Latino, in their mind is like automatically kill, like, you know. And ultimately that's part of judgment, but it shows you how, you know, these nations don't give a damn about Jake, man. But here
no,
you go, a little crime is happening to these other nations, and right away, man, they pass out laws, and like
yeah,
the brother mentioned, because these other nations have, you know, kings, you know, that are gonna defend them, which ultimately we have our own king, which is Yahawah, that he's gonna come in and recompense our enemies when the time is due, man. You know?
yeah, yeah. This is from 1990s, about 30 years ago. Like 1991, 1990. This girl named Latasha Harlan, she was shot, and they got the video. She was shot in this gook, this flat face, pie face gook store over some orange juice. $1.39 orange juice. She lost her life, man. She got shot. It says the killing of Latasha Harlins was 30 years ago. Not enough has changed. But shit, Moab was getting their ass jumped a month ago, and look how much has changed, man. 30 years ago, a 15-year-old black girl from South Central walked into Empire Liquor Market in Delhi, grabbed $1.79 bottle of orange juice and put it in her backpack. A Korean-born merchant, soon Jadu, accused her of stealing it. Latasha had $2 in her hand. Do grabbed Latasha's sweater. Then Latasha punched Du in the face and headed for the door. Du picked up a handgun and fired and shot into the back of Latasha's head. You see, and they got the video on on YouTube. And what did this group get? What did she get? Bitch got a probation, man, because the Edomite judge said that she wouldn't cause her harm. Hold on, check this out.
She wasn't trying to kill her, but
Yeah,
she aimed for the fucking head.
she aimed for the back of her head and shot the shit out of her, bro. You know what I'm saying? And see, they say this is inappropriate, but we do a truth video, they take it down. These people ain't get a strike. The video's still up. It's grainy. Check it out. And she knocked that bitch out.
Yeah, she got in a good one.
And then she shot her. You see?
And
Right
you
in the
know,
back of the head. You got it, brother.
yeah, Salakia brothers. You know, there's a law there's a force versus force law, which means if you smack me, I can't pull out a gun and shoot you. The force
Yeah,
has to be equal, and that's a law in the books. If you smack me, I can't get a knife and stab you. It has
yeah,
to be balanced,
yeah,
And they didn't even bring that law into play in that case, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, the little Jake, she punched her and she hit her with her hands in her face, but for her to get a gun and shoot someone that slapped her with their hands, that's injustice. That's an imbalance. But you see, they didn't even bring that up in the case, you know.
yep,
And plus the fact that she's a young girl. I mean, she's not like a woman, you know. And that's the whole purpose of these groups having these videos in their store. And so when something like that happens, they can just take the video, give it to the police, and the police can go get the perpetrator, you know. But
yeah.
they didn't bring none of that into play. And I got a quick precept.
Bring it up,
This
brother.
is Mike. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Yahawadah says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." So the Most High has always told Israel, this place that we're in called Babylon the Great, this is a place of judgment. This is not a place of rest. He says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you. And that's just what happened with this little Jake. You know,
Yeah,
she got destroyed. It says even with the sword destruction. So the Most High has always warned Jacob. This is not our place of rest. This is a place of judgment. And even though the little Jake, if she was trying to steal it or whatever, it still wasn't worthy of death. But we
yeah,
know at the end of the day, it's all Yahweh Shemi Shai. It's all his working to once again show Jake, this is not your place of rest. You don't keep my laws, statutes, and commandments. So the punishment for that is death.
yeah. But
So it is what it is.
even still, it's like two birds with one stone, because
Mm-hmm.
it's two
Mm-hmm.
birds with one stone because um that Moabite, she gonna suffer in the kingdom of heaven, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And that girl Latasha gonna come back. She might be one of the brother's daughters. She gonna come back and put
Absolutely.
hell on Moab, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
that bitch gonna get shot in the head every day. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking day.
Absolutely.
It's her will, man. And I just wanted to show the I'm looking for the judge, the trial, because there was this Edomite judge. The Edomite, it was a judge, but she's an Edomite woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what this chick name is. Her name is Killer. Her name is Killer. It was an Edomite judge, and you should see the look on her face when she let this Moabite off, man. You know what I'm saying? She let the Moabite off, and and she said she felt like she wouldn't, do that again. She wasn't a threat to the community. But if that was a Jake that had put to death of Goop, shot in the back of the head, she'd have been in jail forever, man. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like I said, our people have been suffering at the hands of these Moabites, whether it be through the gun, whether it be through their so-called fear of us. You know what I'm saying? The food that they put in out, the food that they sell Jake. You know what I'm saying? Because they watch Jake on TV and they hear shit from other people about how Jake act in their communities that they work in.
Mm-hmm.
So they automatically got a bias against us, on top of the fact that they hate us because they're a heathen nation. I'm just looking for this shit name, and go ahead and speak, bro.
Yeah, I got this precept real quick. Because again, you see Jake marching in the streets for equality, for justice, for when Jake gets shot up, and is being oppressed. But
Mm-hmm.
truly, justice is gonna come when Yahweh Shah comes for us, man. This is Romans 12
Right.
and 14. It says, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." And you go into that word vengeance right here in the blue letter, and it says this is the Greek word uh ekdik ekdikaisis. Let me see. Can you hear this, brothers?
Yeah, go play it.
Fine. Fine.
Sis can and it says uh vengeance, avenge, revenge, punishment, vengeance, punishment, and then in the strong definition it says retribution, you know, vengeance.
Yeah.
And also I looked it up um in the dictionary in on the internet, and it says revenge, retribution, retributive justice. You see,
Yeah.
and this is what the Lord's gonna do, man. Because again, no matter how many times you went or mentioned it earlier, brother, how out of the so many cases of so-called Negroes being shot by the cops, only a few of them went to trial, man. The only one that's gonna truly give justice, which was justice truly, to whatever has been done to you, be done to the other person, man. If somebody kills a so-called Israelite, that person should be punished by death, man. You know,
That's right.
and that's not gonna happen on this side because Esau got all sorts of law to protect, especially themselves, but also these heathen nations that are working for them, man.
Yeah.
You know,
And you see, it is crazy because you don't see we don't got no stores in none of these so-called immigrant communities, man. You can't go into a Asian town in America and find a bodega with a Puerto Rican or Latino, somebody like that running it, a Dominican running it. You ain't gonna find no poppy store yet. You're not gonna go into the so-called Italian community and find a so-called black-owned business there that's thriving
Nope.
and making money. When you go into the so-called white neighborhoods, you're not even gonna find a Chinese store in a so-called white neighborhood, man. You ain't gonna find a poppy shop. You ain't gonna find the Arab spot, spot. You're not gonna find none of that. Okay, these people come at us because they know that, like the brother was saying, like you were saying earlier, they believe that we don't have a defense. I got a precept real quick, bro. This is Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 8. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh, because that Moab and Seir do say, Behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen." And that's what they say. And the house of Judah is the so-called Negroes, Haitians, West Indians, man. We're the house of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And these Moab and Seir, they look at us as we're all like the heathens. So you can do whatever you want to us. You can kill us, maim us, rob us, poison us. It don't matter because we're like the heathen. But this is what the Lord said. Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the cities, from his cities, which are on his frontiers. The glory of the country, Beshamath, Baalmeon, and Creathim unto the men of the east with the Ammonites. And the Ammonites is the so-called Japanese. And I will give them in possession, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations. So it's going to be so hardcore. You Ammonites, you're not going to be remembered as among the nations after we get done with you, man. And I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am the Lord. So you Moabites, man, you about to get judgment. The Lord didn't forget about the death of that girl, Latasha Harlins, man. He didn't forget about none of the deaths that you Moabites laid to us. Because first of all, you Moabites, you so-called Asians, you're not even supposed to be alive, man. On some real shit. But the Lord created two more slave nations, man. Okay, because you're supposed to be dead. You're a product of incest, man. Your mother's got their father drunk. Even though Lot's a righteous man, it wasn't his fault. He didn't know what was going on. But his daughter, being simple, laid down with him. And then they brought forth you. And then you got the audacity to magnify yourself against us. And you line up right with Esau, Edom. So you gonna catch it, man. We get on Esau, hey, Esau gonna catch double. But hey, all you nations gonna get it, man. Hey, Ariel, can you get Jeremiah 30 and 16?
Moab's always kicked it along well with Esau, man. Even in the scriptures, it tells you how Moab and Esau were pretty close all the time, man. So that means what? That you Moabites have been oppressing our people and helping Esau out, doing his wickedness towards our people since a long time already, man. So right after Esau you Moabites is gonna catch it the worst too, man. You know, and then like you mentioned before, I don't know if it was in the live or before, a lot of Edomites intermingle with Moab, man, and Ammon. You know,
Yep.
so even amongst them, you have so-called Edomites. I mean, so-called Asians that are really Edomites, man. You
Yep.
know, and they teach you Moabites and you Ammonites to really hate our people, man, because Esau got that perpetual hatred, especially for Judah, man. And that's
Yep.
why you see, you know, so much discrimination in China, and you know they see Jake every time he go to fucking China, they see it like an animal from the zoo, man. You know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They want to take pictures with your kid. They want to take pictures with your kids and shit. You know,
Yeah, man, mad disrespectful. Like,
like what Negro, Latino, Native American, you know, walk up to some Moabites and say, "Can we take a picture with your kid?" What? Yo, that shit happened to me before, bro. I was with my woman. We was out at a store, and these Moabites wanted to take a picture with my kid. Yeah, it's just disgusting, man. Yeah, actually, they did take a picture with her, bro. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, anyway, I don't even do that, man. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
It was crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we are showcasing something, man.
Yeah,
You know,
something else.
And it wasn't an old girl got convicted. The demon, she got convicted of murder or manslaughter, and they call it an American murder, but she walked away. But bring the scripture out, brother, and I'll play this video.
This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
There it is. So you other nations, every last one of you nations on the earth had us in captivity at one point in time. Every last one of y'all. You know, even going back to the time of Judges, guess what? You Moabites and Ammonites gonna have to pay for that, and that was thousands of years ago, man. But guess what? Pay time is coming up. All you nations are our adversaries. You're our enemies. You're not our friends. So guess what? You're gonna be devoured, man. And so you're gonna be devoured. You're gonna go into captivity. And all you nations, can you get Second Maccabees? What is it? First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 13. The brother Kahan got it, brother. Yeah. Kahan got it. Go ahead, brother.
Real quick. This is the book of Second Maccabees. Oh wait, chapter.
It might be in chapter 2. Should be like 13 or something like that. What nation have not gotten up her spoils?
Yeah, kind of. I'm looking for it real quick.
It might be in First Maccabees.
First Maccabees 3, maybe.
First Maccabees 2 and 10.
Oh, 2 and 10. God, this is First Maccabees 2 and 10. It says, "Oh, what nation had not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?"
Yeah, that's right. So all you nations, whenever we went down, whenever we got spoiled, you nations are right there to pick it up, man. You know, so you're gonna have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to pay for all of that. I got this video real quick. Let me play this.
Which serves no purpose other
guilty of voluntary the hurts. Title of court and cause. We the jury remove every type of action, find the defendant guilty of voluntary manslaughter in violation of penal section 192A.
It is not a time for rhetoric, which serves no purpose other than to fuel the fire. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire that's already burning. It is my opinion that Mrs. Dew is not a danger to the community and that she is not going to reoffend.
I know a criminal when I see one. I know a person who presents a danger to the community when I see one. When I don't, I treat that person as something other than that.
You see? See, a bitch said, I know a criminal when I see one. Because in this devil's eyes, a criminal when she see one is an Israelite, a so-called
right.
Latino, a so-called Native
Yep.
American. We're the criminals, according to you
Yep.
Edomites, man. And that shows you that first of all, Esau, you're not a righteous judge. First, you got a woman judging. That's out of order. Okay. Secondly, you're the man of sin, the wicked. So you're the last person to judge anybody. But yet you sit up on this pedestal, okay, holier than thou, and then you completely make the wrong judgment. Hey, the scripture says in 2 Thessalonians 1:6, for it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense recompense trouble on those that trouble you, man. So it's righteous. So if you kill me, if you murder me, you gotta get killed. That's a righteous kill. You know, it's like a hunt. You got a righteous kill right there, man. Meaning nobody can't do you nothing for taking this person out, man. Mm-hmm. But see, because we're not in our kingdom, this ain't our place. Our laws basically don't matter to you. You use your man-made laws to supersede the laws of Yahawah. She said she knows a criminal when she see one. Again, if the shoe was fit on the other side, if it was an Israelite that never committed no crime, they do nothing, and shot that bitch in the back of the head, you think they're gonna get off with voluntary manslaughter and then get put on probation? Hell no. And walk the streets? No, you're gonna serve that time, man. They're gonna get a few years out of you before you get let go, and they're not gonna give you parole. And look at this devil eyes, man. Look at the face, man. A whole demon.
That's a demon right there.
That's a demon. This bitch got paid off. Either some gooks came to the back with a check. You know what I'm saying? And hey, look, man, get this bitch out. Don't do that. It's gonna be bad for for our Asian look here in America, man. Mm-hmm. Just give it manslaughter, and you can give it a lease of the judgment, which is probation, because she don't look like she's gonna offend no more. You don't show that mercy to Jake. You know what I'm saying? I can show a video now. It was an Edomite judge. He showed the Edomite girl that did the same crime as a black girl. I think they did some assault on somebody. He let the white bitch go, say that she don't look like a criminal and she wasn't going to offend again. The black chick came up for the same judgment. She was crying and pleading with the judge. And he said she's a threat to the community and threw her ass in prison, man. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Hey, that's why righteous judgment does not go forth down here, man.
That's right. I have a quick one.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Lamentation 2:15. It says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? And yeah, they look, at our weakness, at our people in their weak state. Why? Because we have departed from the Heavenly Father. So they say, oh, is this the people of the Lord? Look at them. We making the rules. We're judging them. Even if it's wrongly doing it. But yeah, look. And then verse 16, it says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. That's right. And ever since the last reign that King Solomon had, where we had the heathens under our rule, these heathen nations have teamed up, man, basically to destroy our people, man. And especially now, you see how Jake never gets a break from these nations, man. Like the brother was going into, we could do the same thing as these other nations, but the outcome is always different, and it's always for these nations and never for us, man. Yeah, because this is the state that they love seeing us at, or departed from our power, and defenseless, basically.
Yeah, and then they don't value our life, man. Meanwhile, you got niggas worried about Esau, Edom. They're not even worried about Moab. So, the Lord said that these heathen nations are less than nothing, less than nothing. So their life don't even matter. If one of them drop dead the day tomorrow, the Lord ain't gonna shake up the world in the sight of Yahweh Shema Shai. It's like a fly. It's like a roach being stepped on, man. You don't look at that mosquito, you know. That's what the Lord look at these other names. He described them as spittle, man. But yet he described as the apple of his eye. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. No, Salaki, I was saying that's the spirit. I have a scripture to show how the Most High feels about them. Psalm chapter 60 and verse 8. The Most High says, Moab is my wash pot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. You know, for this be a triumph thou because of me. So the Most High calls Moab his wash pot. So that says it all. He doesn't care about these groups, you know. And their time is coming, because the Most High says vengeance is mine, and he's going to get his vengeance through his prophets, through his people. So Moab, Ammon, Esau, they all going to get theirs. It's just a matter of time, you know, for the wickedness they do. Because there's another scripture, I believe it's in Revelation, where the spirits of that little girl, they cry out to the Most High for vengeance.
Yeah,
you know, and the Most High hears them, and he's gonna give them their vengeance, you know, in due time.
Yeah,
So,
it says, until when do you not avenge the blood? Roughly paraphrasing, you know, of basically those that are being destroyed over here on this side,
that's
man.
right.
But I have
That's
this one
right.
real quick, you know, because if it was about, you know, bringing justice to the people that being oppressed, well, our people have been, you know, oppressed and have been you know, hated worse than any other nation, man. So we should be having all sorts of laws protecting the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, man. Because we as a nation of people have been beaten down the worst, you know, out of all nations, man. And this is scripture to prove that. This is the Daniel 9 and 12. It says he hath confirmed his words which he had spoken against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. That's right,
That's
man.
right.
And again, you know, we never got reparations. You know, Issachar, Gad, Reuben, they never got a plot of land over here from all this territory that was basically stolen by Esau from them, man. The same thing down in the South Americas. You know, the Spaniards and these other Edomite nations went down there and basically took over everything, man. And you never see Esau giving us nothing, man. You see, and again, it
Right.
shows you the hypocrisy, man, and the hate that these nations, especially Esau, has for our people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that precept I was speaking on earlier. Revelation chapter 6, verse 10. It says, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? You know, so the Most High hears their cries, and pretty soon he's gonna give them their vengeance, because not just that little girl, but we know there's a lot of Jakes. That guy, George Floyd, that Jake who was murdered by that Edomite. He's up there crying out to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, you know,
even
saying,
that,
you know,
I'm sorry, brother.
No, go ahead, Shalaki, go ahead. You got
You got it, brother. You was in the middle of your speech, Salaki.
Oh no, like I was saying, even all the Jakes that were murdered by these Edomites on the earth, Edomites, Ammonites, Moabites, they're up there crying to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, when you're going to get our vengeance on our blood, and the Most High hears them, you know. So yeah, so go ahead, you got it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, even that chick that got shot, that was trying to stab the other girl, she in her right mind now, and she asking the Lord to kill that Edomite that destroyed her, man.
That's
you
right.
know, it just don't go away. See, in this society, you Edomites, you can forget our plight, but you can't forget these other people's plight. You don't. You gave the Japanese all kinds of money, reparations for interning them in those internment camps during World War II. You gave the so-called Jew money. You gave Iranians money. You gave everybody in the world money. Not that it's real money anyway, but you quick to give somebody a loan, but when they come to our people, you destroy them, man. Why is South America a third world continent? because you Edomites went there, raped and pillaged it, and set up proxies down there. You know, use your economic hitmen to destroy it on purpose, so there wouldn't be a strong Latin country at all in South America unless you running it, unless you got Edomites running it. And you heathen nations, you've been ruling over us forever. They can. One of y'all get that scripture in Esdras, second Esdras. I think it's 3:32.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Go ahead and bring it out.
Oh, that they flow in wealth?
Yeah.
Or okay, I'll go right to it. This is second Esdras 3:33.
I'll start at 32.
At 31?
Go ahead, brother. Wherever
yeah. At 31. Second Esdras 3:31. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Sion? Or is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel? Or what generation hath so believed thy covenant as Jacob? And yet the reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments.
All right. So these other nations, they don't think about the Lord's commandments. They don't exalt them. They don't even reverence them. In their mind, whatever. You know, they're not, you know, these women in power, that's breaking one of the Lord's laws and commandments. He said that he suffered not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man. And any woman in so-called position of power in this society, in order for her to be that role, she got to usurp authority over a man. Okay, she's supposed to be quiet. She's supposed to be shut up. She ain't supposed to be in politics. That's the first thing. Secondly, you heathen nations, you're not fit to govern. You're not fit to rule over us, man. But you flow on wealth, and yet you don't think about the Lord. You don't think about his commandments. You see, you just whatever. You focus on Buddha or Christianity or so-called Christianity or whatever else. And you all these religions by word of mouth, word say lip service. All you religions get lip service because none of you are really devout to that bullshit, man. Even if you were devout, you'd be devout to some bullshit. But you don't believe in that. You flow in wealth. You know, you don't think about the Lord's commandments. This demon, she woke up this morning. She gonna wake up tomorrow morning. You think she gonna give reverence to YAHAWADAH and keep it pushing? Nah. But hey, your judgment is coming. Let me play this real quick.
This bill is to the AAPI community. I cannot tell you how important this bill is to the AAPI community, who often has felt very invisible in our country. Always.
Oh, wait a minute. Our people feel invisible in this country. How the fuck is an Asian feeling invisible in a country where you make a bill for them in a matter of weeks? How are you invisible when you own retail shops, when you own businesses, when you come to this country and they give you free money to establish a business? How are you invisible? You see, because Esau, he shows you that he hates all of you. In reality, he don't deal with you nations up on an upright. He just got you in there agreeing with him as long as you agree with his plan. You see, how are you invisible? Our people been here for hundreds of years, man. We're the invisible people, man. Nobody cares about our plight. Nobody cares about our life. And then y'all go back to, y'all always talk about the 1950s with or the 1960s, 1950s, and these black and white photos of LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was a racist. Showing these black and white pictures of Martin Luther King like the nigga ain't never took a color picture in his life. And they show you as if that was an ancient fight for our freedom. But like Lyndon Baines Johnson said, and I'll quote, we're going to give them a little bit, but not enough to exact change, man. You see?
Seeing a community who often has felt very invisible in our country, always seen as foreign, always seen as the other. And for them to experience a kind of hatred against them through no provocation on their part, to be the victims of unprovoked, just random assaults on them as they are minding their own business in the subways, grocery stores, takeout restaurants, on the street.
And this bill tells the AAPI community, who are seen as the other, who are often asked, where are you from, really?
They don't do that to you, gooks, man. They do that shit to
This
us.
fat cow.
Yeah, she's an Edomite. She's
a fat cow.
Yeah, this demon.
Yeah.
She's an Edomite too.
Yeah,
Man.
like most people see these niggas and they're like, oh, they're Asian. Like they just group you together. They don't give a fuck about where you from.
Oh.
I ain't never seen no Jake XO Goop. Where you from? They don't care. We'll pop
We
your
don't
women.
care.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck, man. If your woman feeling Jake, we're gonna pop the bitch. Might have some kids with the demon. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna keep it pushing. Who's asking you where you from? Them Edomites. But yet you're gonna make us the face of Asian hate crimes, man. You know?
Often asked, where are you from, really? And I've had that happen to me while wearing the uniform of this nation with her flag.
Was it a Negro or Latino asking you that? And she bitch probably lied and say, yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't even there. I guarantee you it wasn't no Jake to ask her no shit like that.
She ain't even attractive. Why would we ask her where she's from?
Yeah, who's gonna talk to you? She already look like a
talk to you.
And then she put the military uniform on, she like an extra butch. Ain't nobody asking you where you from.
Oh, hell no.
These Asians, these Edomites, these Asians always, these Moabites and Ammonites always kissing Esau's ass, trying to act like them, talk like them, walk like them, dress like them, hate like them.
And I've had that happen to me while wearing the uniform of this nation with her flag on my shoulder. Been asked, where are you from, really? Yeah, your dad has been here since before the revolution, but where are you from? This tells the API community, we see you, and we will stand with you, and we will protect you.
This legislation sends a dual message to our Asian American community. We will not tolerate violence and bigotry against you.
But you tolerate it against us?
What about us?
You tolerate vengeance against.
Oh man!
You tolerate. What do you say? Bigotry.
You who perpetrate the violence and bigotry. This dual message to our Asian American community. We will not tolerate violence and bigotry against you. And to those who perpetrate.
But you tolerate violence and bigotry against us? Give a nigga a one so-called superficial win, and oh, now all is changed, all is great, all is
They ain't
right.
even killed nobody. Ain't no group killed. They just took a couple shots.
I think a couple of dudes got killed, but it was an Edomite that did it.
Ain't no Jake killing.
One situation, it was a Jake they claimed killed this old ass man. He probably had a heart attack when the back of his head hit that damn garage door. But it don't even matter because he's a heathen. But see,
hey, the Most High put that spirit on Jake to just walk up to him in the street and just knock him.
Take him out. Get him out of here, bro.
Get him out of here.
But he said he tolerated against them. But you tolerated against us. And then you see our people fighting each other, shooting each other up. You tolerate that violence.
Yeah.
You put it in music. You put it in film. You put it in literature. You tolerate that, but you won't tolerate it against Moabites. Are you a hypocrite, man? And this is all this stuff that you see right here. This is nothing more but a facade, because he's a demon. This dude's a demon, and he's doing this.
Oh hell yeah!
To raise his constituencies a thought on him, so he could say, "Oh look, I fought for Asian rights. You know, I was a part of that bill that was created to defend Asians. So you should vote for me." And that's all this shit is, man. You got people that you ain't never seen. That chick, the first chick that they had speaking, she's a senator from Hawaii, the Democratic senator from Hawaii, man. She don't give a fuck about
that goop right there.
Yeah, she don't give a fuck about over here, man. They keep these seats. They keep these seats of power. Okay, you don't even know how they keep getting voted in. Who's voting for you, man? It's just a write-in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Let me explain this.
American community. We will not tolerate violence and bigotry against you. And to those who perpetrate the violence and bigotry, we're going to pursue you to the full extent of the law.
And he's talking about us. Because when you see those videos, you see so-called Negroes and Latinos in grainy photos supposedly accosting these people, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got crazy people out there. A lot of them attacks was just about crazy people. In New York City, in New York City, there was a attack. Let me see. In New York City, there was an attack.
The one who attacked that Duke in San Francisco, that was an Edomite.
Yeah.
That was an Edomite dude.
Yeah, and if you take a look at like social media platforms, you always see that these Edomites, always verbally attacking these Moabites, man, and even physically too, And I was watching like a black media news, and the dude mentioned something that kind of made sense. He was like, "Man, what type of idiot basically you have to be as a Negro or Latino, to attack just randomly attack Asians in front of cameras, man. Like when the so-called block is hot, you don't go that way, man. If you're gonna do something like that, you do it in an alley, you do it somewhere where there's no cameras. But the shit that they're showing in the news is like Jake in the middle of the street with 1,000 cameras on him. He's just gonna go and randomly attack an Asian person, you know? Like I know there's some Jakes that are fucking stupid, but come on, dog. Like you attacking an Asian in the middle of Times Square and shit. Like that's what they're showing. But again, majority of the things that I've seen personally on this topic of Asian so-called hate crimes, it's always Edomites, man. It's always a redneck, a so-called patriot, or a Trump supporter talking about go back to Asia and shit, But again, they're making this a thing of blacks and Latinos attacking Asians, man. Why? Because again, like the scriptures say, they're targeting our people, man. Esau wants to come and grab you, Jakes, any way possible.
Yep. Yeah, and at the end of the day, you Asians ain't innocent. You Moabites and Ammonites, you're not innocent. You know what I'm saying? You do all of that wickedness to our people, and you just get away with it, and nobody says nothing. Real quick,
that's right.
I got an article real quick I want to bring out. I had a couple, but let me see. You had this one right here. It says anti-Asian hate crime across racial ethnic lines. So it's not just so-called Negroes or Latinos doing this, man. It says Washington, for many Americans, a 21-year-old white man has become the face of anti-Asian violence that has swept the country over the past year. That impression may be misleading. See, here it go. Robert Aragon, the son of Southern Baptist lay leader from Canton, Georgia, is accused of murdering 8 people, including 6 Asian American women and 3 spas in Atlanta. And he also killed.
That's right.
It was Latinos that got so-called Latinos. It was Mexicans, Iscarites that was shot up too, but they don't mention their life. The one-time Bible carrying high school drummer. Look, you see how they make this dude sound like a saint, Bible carrying drummer, video fanatic who later dropped out of college and became a self-described sex addict, has not been charged with committing a hate crime. You see, but he ain't been charged with committing a hate crime, despite demands by many Asians community to do so. Long as told police, he launched a killing spree to eliminate sexual temptation, not to target Asian community. While investigators have yet to determine the motive in the case, many of those who carry out attacks on Asian Americans do not fit Long's racial profile. In New York City, where anti-Asian hate crime is soaring, you know why hate crime or crime is soaring in New York? That whole place is going down, man. It's not just Asians that's being attacked. You got Negroes and Latinos being shot in the middle of the street. You got people that are carrying boxes like FedEx workers being shot and killed. So crime in general is going up in New York City, man.
That's right.
It says only 2 of the 20 people arrested. It says where anti-Asian hate crime soared nearly 9-fold in 2020 over the year before. Only 2 of the 20 people arrested last year in connection with these attacks were white. According to New York police data analyzed the center of the study of hate crime extremism, 11 were African American, 6 were white Hispanics, and 1 was a black Hispanic. So we're the face. You see, we're the face of this bullshit. You just negate these 2 Edomites. This nigga shot up a whole spot, Killed a whole bunch. He
That
murdered a whole bunch of people.
that nigga's a serial killer. He was a serial killer
Yeah,
in one day. That's a serial killer. If you kill more than 5, you're a serial killer. You
yeah,
know?
that's what I'm saying. But yet we're the virus. Hate is the virus. Hate built America, man. Hate created America. America was hate. America was built out of hate. Several factors may explain a relatively high number of non-white arrests in New York City. Well, one is you always locking Jacob anyway. One is the city's racially diverse urban population. Proportionally, the city has 57% more Latinos, 81% more African Americans, 139% more Asians, 130. So it's more of them than in us, and about 50% fewer whites than the nation as a whole, with whites often living in less racially mixed neighborhoods. Didn't we say this earlier? According to Levin, what's more, African Americans are more frequently arrested than whites, and many whites involved in anti-Asian hate crimes may be at large. You see, may be at large.
It's more gooks over here than anything.
Yeah.
In Hawaii.
Yeah. And all of a sudden now you had the Black Lives Matter movement. Now you got the anti-Asian hate movement and the violence against Asians. Wait a minute. You just started getting some fucking violence, man. Yeah.
Your shit just started, nigga.
It's been going on for millennia.
It's been going on for centuries.
Millennia.
You just got it.
No, millennia. And thousands of years, man.
Yeah, you just got in the game, nigga. We've been in the game.
Yeah, for real.
God damn.
You see, man? This is the HRES House Resolution 153, condemning recent hate crimes and committed against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. It says resolution condemning the recent hate crimes committed against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, whereas following the spread of COVID-19 in 2020, there has been more dramatic increase in hate crimes and violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. Whereas between March 19, 2020, December 31st, 2020, there have been 2,808 firsthand accounts of anti-Asian and Pacific Islander hate crimes from 47 states and the District of Columbia. Okay, it says, whereas roughly 38% of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders businesses have been the top targets of discrimination incidents during the time period. It says, whereas during the time of Asian American and Pacific Islanders youth under 20 years old make up roughly 14% of the hate crime victims. You see? Hold on, I want to do this out. Whereas Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders have made significant contributions to American culture, own over 2 million businesses in the United States, and are as essential thread in a diverse fabric of American life now. Therefore, it was resolved and affirmed the United States stands united in condemning and denouncing any and all anti-Asian and Pacific Islander sentiment in any form, condemns all manifestations of expressions of racism and anti-Asians and Pacific Islanders or ethnic intolerance. See, where's ours at? Where's our House resolution at? Where's the House resolution
Nowhere.
defending us, man? You know, like the brother said, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found.
Even you would think with this George Floyd case, as big as it was, you think they will put out some kind of legislation to stop cops just killing Jake. But throughout every big case that's ended, whether the cop was found guilty or innocent, they never put out no kind of legislation to prevent it from happening again. It just happens. They move on to the next one. But there's these gooks. This shit just started happening to them, and already they put out a legislation to help them. You know, that just shows how wicked this system is, man. That's why Yahawadah got to come and take this place off the map, because shit is just totally unfair, but just biased. You know, these motherfuckers get a little smack in the face, a little punch in the jaw, and they get legislation. We've been getting slaughtered, you know, and we ain't get nothing. We don't even get a look, you know.
Yeah. Can you put my screen up in the screen? I have this from this is justice.gov, and it's hate crime statistics. You know, and they show you that most hate crimes are either race, ethnicity, or ancestry crimes, and then it shows you from 2018 and 19 how basically going into the topic, the hate crimes go into race, ethnicity, and then you have religion, sexual orientation, whatever. But the highest one is speaking on race, and it says right here, known offenders, 52% are Edomites, man. You see, and they're putting it in the media as Jake is the main ones, committing these crimes, man. And after that is a so-called African American, and then let me see, do they have the yeah, and then it says 14% race unknown, but chiefly he's Esau Edom, man, but he's not getting blamed for it, and again, you had that dude saying we're gonna, um
Prosecute you to
prosecute you to the full extent of the law. Again, he wasn't talking to Edomites, man. He's talking about Jake because they're making Jake the face of these things. Fucking Esau, man.
I hate this dude, man. I got a precept real quick. This is Deuteronomy 28:43. Oh no, keep sharing your screen, bro.
Can.
Hey, Deuteronomy 28:43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's what's happening to us right now. These Edomites, these so-called Asians, these Moabites, the Ammonites, they coming up above us, and we come down very low. Their plight and their issues supersede ours, man. Okay, and we come down very low, so that our plight and our issues, they don't go nowhere, man, except if it's for an agenda, basically an agenda to get you to mob in the streets and tearing up shit, because they want you to have that same that thought. This is what they were doing in the 90s, man. That's why they were killing so many Israelites in the 90s, and all these riots were happening. A lot of that stuff was provocatored, or provocateered by Asian provocateurs, man. By people setting up shit, owners burning their shit and blaming it on Jake and throwing on the waterworks. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that frustration that did build up in these so-called communities of so-called color, was frustration that's always been there, man. It's always been a treading on water with you. We ain't never been cool with you Moabites. Why? Because we're at a low station, and y'all come up very high. Everybody else issues get precedence over ours, man. The 1948ers, the so-called Asian community, stop Asian hate. Every 5 minutes is something. First it was Black Lives Matter, and now the stop Asian hate is the new thing, And y'all get to stand tall with all this BS, man. But it's it's come down very low. There's Jeremiah 48:11. It says, Moab have been at ease from his youth.
That's right.
And he have settled on his lees, and have not been emptied from vessel to vessel. Neither have he gone into captivity. Therefore, his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. And the brother Ariel brought this out in the NIV. Moab has been at rest from youth, like wine left on the dregs, not poured from one jar to another. See, we were poured from one jar to another, meaning we went from one captivity to another. But Moab ain't go through that. She have not gone into exile. You Moabites, you're not going into exile, even though you don't even know that you're the Moabites that the Bible speaks of. You call yourself Chinese, Korean, Taiwanese, Vietnamese, all this other bullshit. But you the Moabites. Okay, that's who you are. And Koreans come out of China, man. You the Moabites, man. When you look up the history of Korea, how it was established, it was a province or prefect, whatever, China, before it got split off, man. And they did their thing. And they really a mix of Chinese and Moabites. And then it's crazy because Ammon was putting hell on you gooks, man. You other gooks, man. And Ammon is least of those two sons, man. But they were putting hell on Korea and China before China became a power. So it says Moab has been at rest from youth, like wine on his dregs, not poured from one jar to another. She has not gone into exile, so she tastes as she did, and her aroma is unchanged. So they got the same flavor they had from back then, man, because they ain't going into captivity. They ain't going into exile. Like I told the brothers, the last time you Moabites even touched or tasted a somewhat captivity was the time of King David, man.
Wow.
And King Solomon.
That's
That
awesome.
That was thousands of years ago, man. You might as well say it didn't even happen because y'all been in this position. Even when Esau came into y'all countries and was killing y'all, it wasn't Esau doing that. It was your own people, man. That nigga, Chairman Mao or whatever his name was, he killed over 63 million of his own people to get China to be the slave continent that it is today, the slave country that it is today, Salakia, to get China to be basically a sweatshop to the world, man.
Yeah.
You see?
And it's funny because Salakia, if you, because I've done this a lot, if you mistakenly call an Ammonite a Korean or Chinese, you know, these motherfuckers actually get insulted and they get upset.
Yeah.
You know? Because I can't tell the difference sometimes. So I'll be like, hey man, are you Chinese? Are you Japanese? Are you Korean? These motherfuckers, they get insulted. Like, no, I'm Japanese, I'm Korean. Nigga, I don't know.
Yeah, how the fuck I'm supposed to know that? Y'all look the same. But then they'll say we all look the same.
Nah.
And we all don't look the same. Them niggas look the same, man. You see one goop, you see one slant-eyed demon, you seen them all, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unless she thicker than a Snicker and Jake about to get her. Put his spirit on her.
Yeah.
Outside of that, bro, y'all all look the same to me, man.
Yeah, they all look like hey, they all look like they got Down syndrome and shit.
They do,
right?
They do. That's what it is. That's what
they do. They do. That's right.
It's just that they Down syndrome don't look as fresh as the ones that you see nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Because it's been in them for so long that it just, you know, their face kind of got smoothed out. They ain't got those rings around their eyes, man. But hey, you take their glasses off, some of them look like that, man.
That's right.
Let's look at a picture of somebody with
throw up some picture.
Down syndrome.
The big DS. The Down syndrome look.
Niggas look gookish, man.
Yeah.
Gookish, man. He like a Edomite gook. Look.
Yep. There it is.
Oh yeah.
They look like
there it is.
Hey man, this nigga name could be Hong Kong Fooey, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That nigga head guy, Hong Kong Fooey, man.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something too, bro. Hey, brothers, I'm gonna tell you something too. When these groups, if they have a child that's like physically or mentally retarded or has issues, yo, you ain't gonna see that motherfucker out in public.
Nah.
You know, they strictly keep it on the down low, you know, because it's an embarrassment to them when they have a child that has physical handicaps or mental handicaps. Rarely will you see him in public, you know.
And then and look, this thing don't even look no different.
Hell yeah.
It don't look no different, man. They all look the same.
Hell yeah.
Hey, look, I call it, whenever I see a Moabite or Ammonite with their DS, I always say they got a double dose of judgment, man. That's a double dose.
That's a triple dose. That's a triple dose.
So simple and fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Look, this man don't look no different than a Korean, man. Look, an old Korean man. Old Korean man. We about to wrap it up, man. Look at the old Korean man and that dude. They look just alike. Hold on.
Yeah, they fucked up. They fucked up.
They fucked up. Yeah, they fucked up, man. They fucked up big time.
The Most High got him then. He got him then, and he gonna get him again.
And these two dudes look the same, man. Look at this.
Hell yeah.
These niggas look the same, man. And
they don't come from the same seed. They don't come from the same seed. Basically, you know.
It's too close. They come too close into relation with one another, man. That's what that usually comes from. That's what they say they usually stem from, but it's just some type of malignant gene. It's judgment at the end of the day. It's judgment. But like I said, that's what they look like. Moabites and Ammonites, fuck, man. And look, Down syndrome, same people, man. You know?
I saw one in Walmart today. I went to Walmart to get a money order, and
Yeah.
I went back there to get a money order, and I don't know whether it was an Ammonite or Moabite, but she was thick. She was thick, but she was short, like real, like abnormally short.
Yeah.
And I was like checking out from the waist down. But if you look at the waist down, you got to come back up to the top. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, hell no.
Oompa Loompa, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Loopers, man.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, at the end of the day, man, this ain't, I ain't want to make it a roasting session. I'm just trying to bring out the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth, man. Fact. We ain't lying about none of this, man.
It's the truth.
You know what I'm saying? We just kicking the truth, man. And that's what we're going to continue to do, man. And you nations,
absolutely,
hey, you got the win right now, man. But you're going to fall when Esau falls, man. When
hey, I got to say something real quick. You know, that's why I always say the water Yahawah Shai for giving us this knowledge and this information, because we see it through the eyes of Yahawah Shai. We know what it is. We know how it's going to end. So we just got to maintain and endure. You know, these gooks, these demons, they on top now, but we right on their heels. We right on their heels. You know, so we're almost out of here.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, but just wanted to try to edify you brothers and select Aqua out there watch and listen. You know,
the water.
Understand that, you know, these nations, they might seem like they get precedence over the children of Israel, but in reality, the Lord is not dealing with them. I want to end it off on the scripture. Abe Kahan, can you get Isaiah chapter 45, verse 17? Baba Gashah? I'll put it up.
This is Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Yeah, we that world that's spoken about in John 3:16. We that world that the Lord is dealing with, you know, and the Lord said that we're going to have an everlasting salvation and we're not going to be ashamed. Now I need you to get verse 18 too as well.
This is verse 18. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh that created the heavens, the Most High himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited.
I'm sorry. Salakia, 40 and 17.
Oh, 40 and 17.
But that's true too. We're not going to be ashamed, man. When the Lord come and save us, that salvation is for us, man. We're going to be happy. But the other nations, they're going to be ashamed because they actually looking for salvation. They think that they're doing the Lord's work by fucking us up.
Yeah, and it said he made it for it to be inhabited and chiefly by the sons and daughters of Israel, man. Not for you other nations. There's a scripture in the Apocrypha that says, for the world is made for our sakes, man, not for you heathen nations.
That's right.
Isaiah 40 and 17. It says, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity.
That's right. So the Lord said all nations in his sight are nothing, and they're counted less than nothing and vanity, man. Straight up vanity. That's what you nations are. So when you see these nations get on here, they talk about, you know, stopping some hate towards their people, and they're gonna prosecute people to the fullest extent of the law. You know, we've been getting prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, even if we're innocent. You know, tell us something new.
Right.
But the Lord look at you nations as less than nothing, man. And you all vanity because you raging right now. Why did the heathen rage? The heathens are mad. They imagine a vain thing, and the kings of the earth set themselves, man. They think they're gonna rule forever. They think they're gonna have next rule. They're gonna have preeminence over the children of Israel. But the Lord said He's gonna laugh at you, man. And He's gonna talk to you in His wrath, man. And there's another scripture where the Lord said He's gonna bring a judgment such as the heathen have never heard, man. I know the brother Kahan used to bring that up.
Yeah, that's in Micah 5 and 15.
Yeah.
I have another one real quick. This is in Romans 11 and 26. It says, And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion a deliverer that shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob, for this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. That's right, man. And the reason why you heathen nations, are getting over on Jake, and all these laws are being passed uh, to protect you heathen nations and not us, is because we departed from the Lord. But our deliverance is gonna come soon enough, man. We see the end time prophecies being fulfilled. We see the signs in the heavens, the chariots popping up everywhere. Chiefly the word of the Heavenly Father being proclaimed throughout the whole world, man. And brothers, the hopeful elect standing up, you know calling on the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and preaching this truth, man. So we know the end is near. We know that our deliverance, our time and the time for the Lord to repay you heathen nations what you did unto us is coming, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got the scripture, brother, in Hosea? I mean, Micah. What'd you say it was that, brother? Micah what?
Micah
5:15.
5. Yeah,
Can somebody bring it up?
5:15. This is the book of Micah, chapter 5 and verse 15 reads, "And I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard."
There you go. So that's what you nations about to get, man. So you gonna get it, man. We ain't tripping.
We're gonna get it.
Like the brother said, it's all good. Our time is coming. We're next in order of things, man. And it's happening right now, but it's gonna be even on a higher level when Yahweh Shai comes and crack them skies. And when he comes, he's gonna execute vengeance on you heathens and anger and fury upon the heathens such that they have not heard, man. So they're gonna be vicious, man. And guess who he gonna use to do that? Us, man.
That's right.
The Israelites, man, and every Israelite, starting with the elect, and then to the 2/3 when they come back as born babies and children, they're gonna be brought up and they're gonna really bring hell on you, man. They just prepare to get jumped every day, man. Just cause, man. We might not even have to do it. Just put the spirit on these heathen nations to get on one another, man. All that violence that's found in our neighborhoods and where we rest at, that's gonna be found where y'all rest at, man. But when inside of Israel, inside of our borders, it ain't gonna be none of that, man. You're gonna wish you could live in our place, man. If you're not a good servant, if you're not a usable servant, efficient servant, you're not living with us, man. Because it's gonna be heathen living inside of Israel because they're gonna be our handmaids and servants, man. But at a certain time, nigga ass gotta be out, man. Before the sun go down, nigga, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? And don't be thinking about doing nothing wicked and evil around here because you're gonna be destroyed. It can't be there anyway.
That's right.
Anybody got closing statements, man? Scriptures, closing statements.
Nah, it was pretty much.
You got it, bro.
All right, hey. So with that, we're gonna give our praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching His word and truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to our fellow Ak and keep pushing, keep striving. We almost out of here. Hey, shalom.
Hey, shalom.
Shalom.